everyone. I'm really happy to be here. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the conference so far. So as great guy at the back there announced, my name is Iwumene, and I'm the CTO lead developer at Peercat. And what we're going to be talking about today is data analysis of NFT projects on the XRPL ledger. So a few things that we're going to be going through, that is, how is an NFT on the ledger stored? How to retrieve NFT data from the ledger, common issues that we've come across, and what we're thinking about in regards to enhancing and enriching the data. So there's three objects that are of interest when we're talking about NFTs on the XRPL ledger, based on the new standard, the XLS20 standard that's coming out soon, hopefully. And those three objects include the NFT token page, and NFT token offer object. So looking at the NFT token object, that is the actual representation of a non-fungible token on the XRPL ledger. Non-fungible meaning the token cannot be divided into smaller unit amounts. And this object is a new object that is implemented natively within the XRPL ledger itself. So it's much more easier to work with. So also this object can be sold, it can be enumerated over, it can be purchased, and it can be held. I'm sure some people in the room here are looking forward to be NFT holders, or hodlers. So that's great. And with the NFT token page object, this is the object where the NFTs are listed for a particular account. So this is where you can find a list of NFTs a particular account owns. And the NFT token offer object, this object is a new object that's been introduced, and it describes a buy or sell offer for an underlying NFT. So there's three objects of interest. So also, we have transactions. So you have NFT token mint, NFT token burn, and NFT token create offer. So as you may guess, NFT token mint means to create an NFT on the XRPL ledger. NFT token burn is to remove an NFT from the ledger. And NFT token create offer is to create an offer for an underlying NFT token. So that's NFT Data Structures on the XRPL. You can find out more information about it on xrpl.org. So how do we retrieve data from the public ledger? This is made really easy for us. So you connect to a WebSocket, you connect to a node, and you can just send through this command, ledger command. And you can specify in the ledger index the number, the index number or the ledger that you're interested in. And if you just want the latest ledger, you can just put validated in there, and it will give you the latest ledger. So when you send that command in, you'll get a response. And the response will be, there's loads of other stuff there, but I've removed some of the other stuff, so just to focus on transactions. And you would have a list inside, you have an array there with a list inside there of transaction hashes. And these transaction hashes represent transactions that have been included in a particular ledger on the XRPL. Now I can take one of those hashes and I can send through another command. And that is command TX. Well, it stands for transaction, I'm assuming. And if you take the transaction hash and you send in that command, you get a response back, which will show you the details of that transaction that occurred on the XRPL ledger. And key things to look at there is transaction type, because there's many different types of transaction on the ledger, but there's a few that might be of interest to us or maybe someone else who's doing some data analyzing on the XRPL. So here I've just put an example there of NFT token mint, and that's a transaction we're interested in. So that's how you get data out. So in this case, you may not necessarily want to rely on the public servers, server nodes, to get your information. You may want to run your own nodes. So a possible option to do that is to use the Clio Server. Now, the Clio Server is a XRP ledger API server, and it's optimized for WebSockets and API calls for validated ledger data. So the Clio Server doesn't connect to the peer-to-peer network itself. It connects to a rippled server, which is then connected to the peer-to-peer network. So what the Clio Server does is that it extracts validated ledger data from the rippled server itself. And then it stores that data in a persistent storage. And that, for example, the Scylla DB. So the possible reasons why you may want to run a Clio server versus running your own Ripple server node is that it has lower memory usage, so it compared to the Ripple server, and it can reduce the impact of calls or API requests going to the Rippled servers and the peer-to-peer network. So you can reduce the pressure from that, and the servers themselves also have a high throughput for HTTP API calls, and also it can be easily horizontally scaled. So there's a couple of good benefits to running a Clio server, which is much more simpler and easier compared to running a full node. So that's how you get data out, and that's how you kind of create your own reliable source of data for XRPL ledger information. One interesting new method that has been added on the Clio server is NFT Info. So you can send this to a Clio server as a JSON RPC call, and if you specify an NFT ID, like one I've highlighted there, you can get specific information about an NFT. You can get the owner, is it burnt, is it different type of flags, transfer fees, the issuer, the URI. So there's a lot of information provided in that. So that's a really useful method that could be utilized on the Clio server. So once you have your data, you can basically start analyzing. So you can put that data into different structures. It could be like SQL tables or other types of data models, like graph data models, for further analysis. In the case of PeerCat, we're going to be focusing on NFT data, but there's no reason why anybody else couldn't analyze different types of transactions or data that's happening on the XRPL ledger. So some common issues that we come across. One thing obviously to note is that I think soon, hopefully, the new standard XLS20D will be coming out soon, so it'll be accessible on the mainnet. But at the moment, it's only accessible via test networks. So if you wanted to play around with it, you can access it via the NFT DevNet or other test networks that may have upgraded to that. Another issue that we've experienced is metadata. I'm sure but there's probably some people have seen it and gone through it before. But we have an X app on the Sum platform called PeerCat NFT Viewer, and it allows people to view their NFTs on their phone. and their images and look at the descriptions, etc. And one thing that we've had issues with, obviously, is trying to classify the different metadata standards that are out there and try and accommodate for those. So it's literally on a weekly basis we're finding out new implementations, and we're trying to bring them into the XApp. But yeah, that's one area. An excellent discussion has been started, XLS24D. And that's an interesting discussion to start to talk about standardizing metadata for NFTs. So enriching and enhancing the data. So there's a few things that we're looking into. We have top holder wallet trackers. So looking at the top holders of NFTs. That's something that we want to be looking at. And kind of data streaming analytics, so like real-time analytics of what's happening with minting, burning, and offers, etc. And one thing we're really interested in as well is combining that data with social data. So kind of monitoring what's happening, social activities, like in Twitter activities, looking at the relationships between Twitter social activity and NFT transactions on chain. We're also looking at Discord community monitoring. Kind of like we're looking at a wide range of social activity in relation to how it relates to NFT transactions on chain. One thing we're looking at as well is in future is intelligence. So hopefully, with all this data that we're collecting and finding out relationships and insights, we plan to apply machine learning on top of some of the data models that we create, and looking at detecting anomalies, wash trading detection, looking at what types of insights we can discover with machine learning and intelligence that we can provide for NFT owners, so that you don't just have your NFT in your wallet. You can also track what's happening with that NFT and look at the wider impact. So that's me kind of done with my spiel. So I'm Ike. I'm the lead developer at Peercat. So you can, I've got my email there. We also have some stickers at the back if anybody's interested in some Peercat stickers, and we got some QR codes back there. This QR code goes straight to our data analytics platform as it is at the moment. It's still early days, so there's still a few tweaks to sort out with it. But yeah, feel free to scan it, have a look, play around with it. It will be really great to get people's feedback and ideas and thoughts so we can improve it as we go along. So thank you very much, and I'm out.